Hey YouTube land, it's Tychondrus here doing another action figure Star Wars review, and this time it's for the Star Wars Black Series Maz Kanata figure. Now, this figure's been out for a little while, and I only recently picked it up. It went on clearance over here. The local toy store that we have put this and a bunch of other random Black Series figures for on sale. I think I paid €7 for this, where they're normally 30, so it was a good deal. I hadn't really intended on picking her up, but I decided to grab it while it was on sale. Unfortunately, I missed out on the was it the €3 Black Series Vader, the 6-inch New Hope style version of Vader. They were selling him off for like £3 a pop, so I could have picked up a bunch of them, which would have been cool. But as it stands, I just picked up her. I picked up 3 figures: her and the First Order disguise, Officer Disguise Finn, and Poe Dameron from Last Jedi. They were selling those guys off at like a $5 each, and I think this one was the cheapest. But I picked up Maz, and she's not too bad. I'm not a huge fan of the skin tone color. From what I remember in the movie, her skin tone was a bit more orangey kind of color. In fact, her skin tone kind of reminded me more of this sort of orange than the color that Hasbro decided to go with, which is more of a bronze. But that's my only nitpick about the figure. The rest of the sculpt wise and details and articulation is amazing. So here she is, but before I get into her, I'll just have a quick look at the box. So box is your standard Black Series packaging. It's the red and Black Series with the logo on the top, the number for the character on the side, which is 49 for Maz, and then there's a brief write-up on the back. So it says, the destruction of her castle has forced Maz to become more mobile and take on a more hands-on and blaster firing role in the turbulent... bear with me there a second. Let me move that up so you can really see it as well. And let me just focusing on it. So, where was I? Turbulent criminal underworld. She offers help in a struggle against the First Order by pointing out the resistance towards a mysterious new ally. And then the same blurb is just repeated in several different languages. Then on the side you just have Maz Kanata, and that is the box, and you have a picture of her in the corner of the box as well. So on to the figure herself. She's quite a nicely sculpted figure. She has a waist articulation, which has a little bit of forward and back on it. Her head is, it's on a ball joint, but you get a good bit down, but not much back because of the kind of cap that she's wearing, and it bumps into her shirt. The shirt is actually well, the overshirt is a separate piece. She's kind of wearing this kind of sweater type thing, and she has the standard single elbow with swivel. She has swivel in the wrist and hinges on the wrist. And she has the standard ball jointed for the shoulders. As I said, the waist crunch. She has, what's cool about this figure is she has the standard kind of Black Series hip articulation. So she has the ball joint legs that can go out that much and back that much. Her back is hindered a bit by the sculpt, but then she has the hip joint at the top, so she can rotate at the top of the hip or top of the thigh. She has the single jointed elbow or single jointed knee with swivel as well. Then she has rocker joints on the ankles and can go for the back, so you can get some crazy poses out of Maz. And she also has an extra articulation point up here on her head for these glasses things that she wears that can just rotate down in front of her eyes, or you can have them up and off the eyes if you wish. Accessory wise, she is a little bit light. Now, the one thing I will point out that I noticed more about this figure is, even though the blurb on the back goes on about the destruction of her castle and all that from the Force Awakens, because it's the figure was released, if I remember correctly, it was released as part of the Last Jedi stuff. So technically, it's supposed to be a Last Jedi version of the character, because it goes on about after the destruction of her castle, but the figure itself is actually more based on the actual Force Awakens incarnation. So she comes with this trunk, or the little box, and inside the box, well, it comes separate in the packaging, but inside the box you have Luke's lightsaber, which can be stored in the box, and just the clasp collapses over this. There is hinges on the back. They're not actual hinges, it's just that the plastic is a little bit lighter to give the hinge effect. So I would be wary over time that this could overstretch or overstretch, and those could break. So just be wary of that. But so far it hasn't happened. She also comes with, which is interesting to me, is the Rebel Alliance blaster. So she doesn't have the kind of standard Resistance style blaster that nearly everyone in the Resistance came with. She actually has the old school Rebel Alliance blaster. I can't remember the designation for it, but it's the one like the Rebel troopers used, like the guys on the Tantive and the guys in Endor, I think, had these as well. So it's more of a Rebel Alliance, which is kind of an odd back to the fact that she collects relics and stuff like that. I suppose it makes more sense for her to have one. The one thing that is a disappointment, or not disappointment, but is a little bit disappointing, is that even though she's clearly based on the Force Awakens version of Maz, if they had been going for the Last Jedi version, she doesn't come with the jetpack that you see her use for a brief few seconds that she's in the movie. It would be interesting for her to have it, but I know it might have been, because this figure was released before the film was actually released, it could have been deemed as a spoiler that she has a jetpack. But as it stands, she doesn't come with one. So now the blaster, as you can see, fits in her right hand really easily. It can sort of be clasped into her left, but her left is in a weird kind of, well, it's not weird, it's more of an open position. So she isn't really designed to hold it. The other thing is both hands don't have a designated trigger finger, so it doesn't make any difference which hand you have holding the blaster in. She won't be able to hold the actual trigger. The hand is more designed to be holding the lightsaber and to recreate the scene where she gives Rey the lightsaber, is where they were going with that one. Would have been kind of cool to have her have a trigger finger kind of hand, so she could hold the blaster in more kind of two-handed poses, or in like proper blaster holding pose. But you can sort of get her to hold in two-handed poses, which isn't too bad. So for comparisons, I will bring in an actual Force Awakens figure, and this is her longtime friend, Captain Han Solo. And just because, I mean, I'm going to bring in her favourite Wookiee, Chewie, or her boyfriend as she calls him in the movie. So you can recreate that lovable scene where Han goes to meet with Maz, and she asks him where Chewie is. Well, you can see he's right beside her. So there you go, guys. It's a quick video review for the Maz Kanata figure. I do like it. I was surprised how much I actually do like the figure once I picked it up. I wasn't too pushed on picking her up initially because it's for the size of the figure. She's like half, as you can see, she's a pint-sized figure, so she's only about half the size of a standard Black Series figure, even though she is in scale with them. I just thought the fact that she didn't have too many accessories, and they were, when she first came out, she was 30, as I said, 30 quid, which is pricey for me. I mean, I know the Black Series are supposed to be kind of expensive, but comparing the prices from the States to from the US, for people who can get these at more easier access, considering they get all the waves of figures over there and we get splatterings of the waves, I thought the 30 figure price point was a bit too much. I still think the €30 price point is a bit too much for the standard Black Series. Some places even have them as higher, as in 35. It depends on, like, if you shop around, they seem to be randomly priced. And then if you look at the secondary market prices, people are looking for anything from up to 40 onwards. So the prices go crazy for them. And that's just within Europe and Ireland. I'm not counting like US in this. US prices seem to be all over places too, but people who can buy them at mass retail tend to buy them at more reasonable prices, even with the conversion rate as well. So enough of me ranting and rambling about the prices. This is more about the figure. So here is the Maz Kanata figure review. As I said, I hope you enjoyed the review. It was just a quick video, figure review. I hope to get around to doing both the Finn in disguise, in First Order officer disguise, and the Poe Dameron figure when I get a chance. So I know I haven't really done any videos in a while. I've been kind of busy doing stuff, and I hope you enjoy this video. Cheers, guys.